the lead. War Eagle.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz here on this Tuesday. We're glad that you've joined us out there. Our program brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, and Sensa Green for air that is cool and clean. Randy, good to see you here at lunch. We did the podcast this morning. Again, we appreciate all of you out there that have found us and have subscribed to our YouTube channel. Make sure you go out there and hit the like button. Again, we couldn't do any of this without all of our good partners and all of you out there that comment and help spread the word. So we appreciate it so much. Diving into this right out of the gate, first of all, Cam Newton, the number 2, will be enshrined in Auburn lore from now on. It will never be worn again, unless, I guess, Cam Newton never gave somebody permission to wear it. I guess that could happen. But when your number gets retired, it gets put in the rafters and gets put up on the side of the stadium. Again, I think very well deserving. One of the best players ever in college football, not just at Auburn, but best college football players. He accounted for 50 touchdowns in one season. Randy was the first to do in SEC history to pass for over 2,000 yards and rush for 1,000 in the same season. So just kind of set the benchmark for a lot of people. And again, when you look at different lists, you know, he's always 1, 2, or 3 up there in the top of maybe one best college football players ever. And he only played one season. I know there's players that did it longer, but I don't know that anybody ever did it better.
Well, we know as Auburn fans, and I won't go as in-depth as I did this morning on the podcast, but, we know as Auburn fans that 2010 team was probably another 7, 8, or 9 win team without Cam Newton on it. And, when you can look back and you can see where Auburn was as a program, there's some other programs that could win national championships without tremendous play at one position or another. Right. But Auburn during that stretch, they weren't going to get over the hump. That team had good pieces, but the good pieces were only good enough for 7 or 8, 9 wins.
Well, you and I were just at the Outback Bowl on January the 1st.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Nick Fairley kind of had a coming out party in that game, if you'll remember. But, we were playing a Northwestern team and had to go to overtime and win the dadgum game, and it was crazy and a lot of points. And I remember hearing maybe the night before we were out, it was New Year's Eve, and somebody said, well, Cam Newton just committed to Auburn, or Auburn just got Cam Newton. And we're all like, okay, whatever. God almighty, thank goodness. That was a great get. But I remember that, and then going to that Outback Bowl and going, okay, we had a good team, but you're right. It's like another 8, 9 win team. And you interject a player like Cam Newton, he took Auburn over the top.
He definitely did. And with that being said, won a national championship for the first time since 57. And if you do that, then you deserve to have your number hung up. We got one in Elliott City that if there's one that probably deserves to be in the conversation, it was Red Phillips. I mean, my gosh, they won national championship in 57. He was one of the top 5 picks in the NFL draft. He was a consensus All-American, played both ways for that group. So, unfortunately, I think for him, he and Terry Beasley wore the same number. So I think that number has been retired, but it hasn't been retired in his name. And I saw the Elliott City school system made a post on Red Phillips a couple of weeks ago on much the same topic, as he won a state championship in Elliott City and a national championship there at Auburn. But back to Cam Newton, it's only 4 players that have had the benefit of getting their number retired at Auburn, one being that Terry Beasley, number 88. And then you've got his quarterback during that stretch and Pat Sullivan, and he won a Heisman Trophy. Bo Jackson wins the Heisman, and now you got Cam Newton's number 2 being retired. There's some other programs got a lot more numbers than that retired. So
right.
I think it's very deserving, and it feels like the national press feels the same.
Yeah, I think that's maybe the storyline too, and we'll stay with that here in this first segment. And, you don't get guys like him very often. Even, you look at all the historical programs. I think Auburn's a top 15 program historically. You can argue whatever, but they've won multiple national championships, tons of conference championships, had, 3 Heisman Trophy winners. There's not many schools that can say that. And, you look at the national media, and Cam's an eccentric person. Like, Cam was not this way at Auburn. He was a very reserved, kind of stayed to himself. You never saw him out. Again, it was a kind of tumultuous year in 2010 with all the stuff going on about the pay for play and all that crap. And, he was able to kind of stay the course and keep his blinders on and not get distracted somehow, some way. I mean, most people would not have been able to do what he did and be able to keep it all, keep the train on the tracks, but he did. So when he got out of that, he's, great pro career, had a chance to win a Super Bowl and was, tremendous at Carolina. And then now he's on the social media scene with his podcast, and he's changed his style. he didn't dress like that when he was at Auburn, but now, he kind of looks like, Jack Sparrow sometimes. And, the other day at practice, he had a sweatshirt on and a bow tie. I don't know that I've ever seen that before, but, he can pull it off. And, but he's an eccentric guy. So he kind of is out there, and, guys like that will rub people the wrong way from time to time, and he don't care. I mean, he speaks his mind. I mean, Charles Barkley's done it his whole life. There's plenty of other former athletes that are on talk shows and have things that do the same exact thing. So, but I think people respect him. And I think that's the thing, that he's not afraid to put himself out there and say what he thinks. And usually it comes with, a pretty good bit of thought. He don't just randomly spout things out. He has some facts and all that back it up. But I think you said it best in the podcast this morning. He's welcomed back at Auburn. And Auburn former greats, they come back to Auburn and they love Auburn. And Cam talked about how much Auburn did for him while he was here, although it was a short amount of time. He's very complimentary, and he said, look, I'll always be an Auburn guy, and I'm always coming back here. Of course, now he's just cemented into Auburn football lore. But, this has been an overwhelmingly positive reaction across the country with the retirement of his jersey.
Well, I talked a lot about that this morning, so I'll go down your path with his social media. And I really think he's very talented. I do. I like listening to his rants. I enjoy his podcast. I like the way that he runs it. It's different, which is good. Shannon Sharp's, it's very different, but it's good, because if they were all Joe Rogan, they would be boring. And I love Joe Rogan, but not everybody can be Joe Rogan. So Don't try to go out there and be
just be
somebody that you can. And I think Cam does that so very well. And, he has that Charles Barkley feeling to him. I mean, I really think that he's going to be as big a star on the broadcasting, social media, personality, talent standpoint that he ever was as a player. And Charles has definitely been that. I mean, Charles, I think that Charles is a better pro athlete than Cam Newton. I don't think anybody would deny that. But if Cam Newton get anywhere near to the level that Charles Barkley's been from a talent standpoint, I think that he would call that a major win. Now, I'm not saying that Cam didn't have a year or two where he was equal to Charles, but Charles had a longer stretch of greatness in the sport than Cam did. And that's not knocking him, because, there's not many people that can have the 1 or 2 year, 3 year stretch that Cam Newton had. It was amazing. He's an NFL MVP. Who can say that? Not many people can. And
No.
So, look, we're proud that he's proud to be an Auburn Tiger. And that's the reason that I think the national pundits, and I know that that's the reason that us Auburn fans are easy to embrace him, because he shows the love back to the university. If he didn't do that, then he wouldn't get the response that he's getting. That's an overwhelmingly positive response all the way around.
What's your thoughts? He recently was in the media talking about pushing for more coverage of HBCU football, and he said he could be the dedicated college game day guy, just like Pat McAfee is for regular college game day. He would be glad to do that on the HBCU level. Again, he's out there trying to be a trailblazer, a pioneer, and
what do I think? Not enough interest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real simple. I mean, he can say it, and I appreciate
Yeah.
that he's saying it. I mean, and I think he's talented enough to carry it a certain distance, the same as Dion was talented enough to get publicity to HBCUs when they weren't able to.
True. Yep.
So do I think that somebody as exceptional as those two can bring some interest to something kind of like Caitlin Clark has with the WNBA? Yes. But do I think a broadcaster can bring that much interest to it? No. I mean, do you care? Like, if I were to tell you tomorrow that Alabama A&M is going to have a national championship caliber program up in Huntsville, Alabama, would you watch a single one of their games?
No, because I'm just not dialed into that.
Well,
I'm not dialed into their
the
program.
problem is that you are.
I know. Your point is very valid.
I don't
agree.
mean that negative. I'm sorry
No.
if you're an HBCU person. I'm all about it. I mean, if I were an Alabama State graduate, which I know a lot of people that are, and they love their college. I think
But from a national exposure and money being invested,
it's not going
there.
to change. Now, could you get some sponsorship money that wants to lean into that side of the social politics? And yeah, you could.
Yep.
But does it mean that eyeballs are going to gravitate to it? I don't think anybody will get as many eyeballs as Dion got to Jackson State. I mean, what a wonderful job.
He pulled off something that only he probably could pull off.
It's just an amazing personality and talent. And he had a couple of kids, including his quarterback, that he was able to bring with him that were as talented as he is. And it all came together in a perfect world. And so I did watch him, but I'm not watching Cam call a game. If Cam were to go if he were to go coach Grambling, and he were to take Grambling to an HBCU national championship, and he'd be as great a personality as Dion was at Jackson State.
That's different.
Yeah, I would probably watch because I'm an Auburn fan and I want to see Cam.
But just because he's up there talking like Pat McAfee's not going to bring that.
Don't think so, man. I really don't. I don't mean negative. I hope nobody takes that in a negative way. I just I don't see
it's
that
true.
working.
Let's just be honest. It's the truth. So
yeah,
I totally agree with you. All right, we're up against our first break here on the program. Everybody stay where you are. More of the Auburn Blitz coming up right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
About an hour ago, Theo airballed the game-winning shot. But with the Zaxby Sauce box, he's dunking all over these fools.
Welcome to Dunk City. I'm the mayor and the sheriff.
Who's got the sauce?
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell. There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind? Welcome to Bunkers. Our friendly staff and vibrant atmosphere make Bunkers the ultimate hangout space for all ages. With 6 state-of-the-art golf simulator stations, you can play around with friends no matter the weather. Enjoy mouth-watering food and a wide variety of handcrafted mixed drinks. With our attached parking deck, access is always hassle-free. Make your next night out unforgettable at Bunkers.
Visit our new locations in Gadsden and Oxford today.
Hillary Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best-kept secret. An affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious one-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillary Towers, 256-329-0552. 256-329-0552. Hillary Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. 45 minutes left in the show. Today, brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores with 9 locations throughout Central Alabama for all your home building supply needs. Call on them. J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, no job too big or too small, residential or commercial. They'll do all the site prep work for you. Get you ready to go. Call on J.A. Smith Construction and Sensor Green for air that's cool and clean. Call on Sensor Green, saving you thousands of dollars on new installs of carrier units. And let me tell you, if you got a dinosaur, it's probably getting pushed to the limit right now with this heat. And if it goes out, you're going to want to be calling Sensor Green. So go ahead and kind of get ahead of the game. Call Sensor Green. They got some great deals going on. They'll take care of you out there. All right, shifting over, let's talk about this Auburn football team. We're about a week and a half away from kickoff of the 25 season. Auburn will travel to Waco for that game. It's going to be a very eyes on this game around the nation. It's going to be high profile. And I know it's on Friday. It's high school football, but it's going to be one of the top games. And a lot of people are going to be interested to see because Baylor played very well coming down the stretch under Dave Aranda. And they returned their quarterback. They returned Bryson Washington, their starting running back. They lose Pendergrass with a foot injury last week, but they've got a freshman just like we do in Omar Atson. They've got a freshman that is going to have an opportunity to jump in and kind of take that place. They're very talented on offense. They return everybody but one guy, and Kobe Prentice takes that spot, the transfer from Alabama. We saw him at Calera. So it's going to be a high-profile offense. They went out in the portal. They got a bunch of guys. I think they could start upwards of 5 guys on the defensive side from the portal. So we'll see what they're able to shore up. They gave up a ton of points last year, but they scored a boatload of points. So the challenge will be there. That leads us to talk about what we've been seeing in camp for Auburn to this point. We know how much is riding on this game for both teams. Baylor is predicted by some publications to win the Big 12. When you look at Auburn, they're ranked 11th or 12th, depending on where you're looking at in the SEC. So if you're Baylor, you're going, hey, we're supposed to win our conference, and I know it's the SEC, but they're ranked 11th. We need to win this game if we're planning on having a season where we can maybe make a playoff and compete for a championship. That's their view. That's their mindset, and I totally see why they would think that.
Well, it should be. Auburn has given no team outside of this conference any reason to not feel that way over the last 4 years. And, we buy in every year because we keep up with the recruiting and we watch the transfers that are coming in, and we see that there is some NFL talent on this Auburn roster that you've got to get to the next level. And I mean the next level by becoming an all-SEC type of performer.
Right.
That just hasn't been the case for the long term for Auburn. So if I'm outside of here and I'm not keeping up with it, I'm going, I got to win that football game. But for Auburn, and I'm going to spin this back in a positive direction for Auburn. I mean, if you were to line up a team that matches your strengths and weaknesses better, I would take this one. And here's the reason I say that. I mean, they're very strong on the offensive side of the ball. There's no part of me that thinks that we're just going to lay down defensively. I don't see that. I think we're going to be very good on the defensive side of the ball. Is it the best in the SEC? I'm not going that far yet, but is it top end of the SEC, like top 4 or 5 in the SEC? Yes. And if that's top 4 or 5 in the SEC, that's top 7 or 10 in the country, if you can be there. And I think Auburn's defense has the personnel and DJ Durkin to pull that off. So with that matchup, now how does their defense match up with our offense? That's been the $1 million question for far too long. I mean, they're not very good on the defensive side of the ball. But we can take not very good defenses like Cal, like Arkansas, like others, and we make them look great because we're so bad on the offensive side of the ball. So I think the talent level, and I think our head coach has to feel a sense of urgency to know the reason he's there as our head coach is for me not to sit up here a week and a half out from playing our first game wondering whether we can muster up enough offense to go on the road and beat a team that wouldn't win 500. They wouldn't go 500 in the SEC. They wouldn't. They may beat Auburn, but I promise you, if they played an SEC schedule, they wouldn't win more than they lost.
Yeah, I think they'd be at best a 7-win team, probably.
Yeah, I mean, and that would be a losing record in the SEC because they'd win 2 or 3 out of conference games. They're not a winning program in the SEC, and kind of goes back to mine and your SEC baseball talk. You know, if you can finish the SEC baseball conference with a winning record, oh my gosh, you can get 16 wins. You're like, man, we got a wonderful team this year, and you really look down. You're only 16-14 when you win those 16 games, and we've made it to College World Series around those win totals. So I don't think Baylor's any better than that, but I don't know what that means for us. But I do like the matchup. I mean, I hate that it's on the road at their place on a random night on Friday.
Time to put up or shut up, man.
It is, you know, and so I think the matchup is in Auburn's favor, but I've thought that before and it not work out.
True. This will be the best defense I think Baylor will play all year. So if Baylor's looking for a positive, of course they win the game. I think they're well on their way with their schedule. They've got SMU right after us. So, I mean, that's not going to be an easy task.
No, not at all.
But I don't think SMU is going to put a better defense on the field than what they're going to play against us. So
no, the question is, do they put a lot better offense on the field? That's where they make it up.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. So I think, you know, maybe right there out of the gate, Baylor has 2 of their toughest games. They play Houston later on in the season. But I can see why with their returning and how successful they were coming down the stretch last year that people will go, hey, man. Now, they got Arizona State, too. That ain't easy. Arizona State was a playoff team.
Very well coached.
Very, very well coached. Again, 2 Auburn former coaches. I mean, Kenny Dillingham there and Rhett Lashley. So they're going to play. They got some tough games, but overall favorable schedule for Baylor. I don't think Arizona State would put a better defense out on the field than what Auburn's going to put out. So I do think when they look at it from that standpoint, they're thinking, man, we get past this. You know, we feel good about ourselves. So it'll be interesting to see. But, yeah, that's kind of a little small snippet as we get closer to the game. Next week, obviously, we'll be getting into game prep week. We're going to be hearing a lot more out of the game prep for Baylor. But it's like Coach Free said, we've been prepping since June for Baylor. I mean, you know, just looking at things, and that's what you do with your first opponent and trying to, you know, kind of get a feel for what they're going to do. And when they return almost everybody on offense, it gives you an opportunity to kind of dial in. And, you know, they're not going to change a lot. They'll change some things, but you know what their strengths are. And but losing Pendergrass was a blow for them. It really was. I mean, he was a 600-700 yard last year back. You know, very strong physical guy that was a dual back there with Bryson Washington. So they'll have to figure out where his production will come from. And that's tough. So they probably had a game plan to try to pound Auburn and get Auburn in the fourth quarter and try to wear them down. And they're not going to have his services in this game. So they can't lean just on Bryson Washington to get that done. So they'll have to maybe make up for it in the pass game or whatever. So it maybe create some opportunities for Auburn in the secondary to make some plays. All right, up against another break here on the show. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
For air that's cool and clean, call Sensi Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Turn to the experts at Sensigreen and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carrier cool cash rebates. Visit sensigreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply is your headquarters for all the brands contractors know best. We're your local home improvement store with 9 convenient locations throughout central Alabama. We have a huge selection of Weber and Traeger, Pelican coolers, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and other top brands. No matter the project, we have you covered with our high-quality lumber and building supplies. From do-it-yourselfers to seasoned pros, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply has what you need to get the job done.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event, from tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event. Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Halfway through our program means it's time for Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine, and we want to thank Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine, Randy, for being our post-game sponsor. We're going to be coming live after each game. Faith and I will be out in Waco. We'll get you guys jumping in there with us to get reaction. I won't have the privilege of being in the state that you'll probably be in and some of the others. I won't have that opportunity because I'll be working on the field, coming out of the press room. But looking forward to it. But thanks to Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine for partnering again with us. They've been a partner with us for a long time. But jumping on and being our post-game reaction show sponsor. And I hope it's a jubilant one. I'll just put it that way.
Well, I've said I'll probably be having a few of those steaks and wines before I end up on. So I'll probably be way more entertaining than I would have been.
Yeah, just don't throw up after it's over, I hope.
Oh, no. Look, I'm an Auburn fan. You know, there's one thing that you and I give our Robinson cohorts a lot of grief with over the years is they take this way too serious. I mean, when you're an Auburn fan, especially an Auburn football fan, like I used to get up when I was an 80s kid. Right. I literally would get
upset,
disgusted with life, very, very upset, would not really want to talk to anybody for a couple of days leading in to the next week, knowing that one of my Bama friends would probably.
I remember not wanting to go to school after some losses before.
But I mean, now, man, we'd be missing so much school at this point that heck, we'd never go.
Well, we'd get expelled for lack of attendance.
Oh, it doesn't. I'm not bothered anymore. But I do remember the times when I was. But no, I'll be just fine, and I'll be giving hopefully a positive take this year. I'm so waiting for the time that we can come on air and feel really good about the product that the coaching staff is giving us at Auburn. Because I keep saying it over, and I know you love the coaches there at Auburn, and you love Coach Freeze. I'm willing to say that. You got a good relationship with him. I think he's great to you. We can't thank him enough. I mean, he's friendly with you and gives you things that I know he gives others too. But so we don't want anything but positive, but I'm just so dying for us to be able to go, you know what, we're getting coached up. We may not win them all, but we're getting coached up, like Bruce Pearl, like Butch Thompson. You know, do you know many Auburn fans that you're around? This kind of goes to my, you know, I saw a poll come out today, and it said the opinion of Donald Trump is going down. The first thing that came across my mind, who in the hell – what are they polling? For one, there's no way they polled one human that I'm associated with that gave him a negative remark on anything that he's doing. Not one human. And I'm thinking, what about
I could probably pop a picture up of a typical one that probably.
Well, I got some in my mind.
But I'm not going to do that.
But I'm talking about for the most part, for you to have the polls go down, there's got to be a lot of people. And I'm thinking, I don't know a human that I'm associated with and I'm friends with. Well, it goes back to Auburn. Like, anybody that hardly ever says anything negative about Bruce Pearl?
I hadn't heard anybody say anything negative.
Butch Thompson?
No.
Auburn fans get a lot of grief for going through coaches and it not working out. And
I've been going through them over there.
And I just want to point to those two and go,
yeah.
Do you know anyone that says anything negative about those two coaches? We love our baseball and basketball.
And guess what?
Too.
Do you know how many schools would want to have either one of those guys
all of
coaching them?
Just about all of them. And we know that. And like, even when Butch Thompson had a down year and Bruce Pearl had one 4 or 5 years ago.
The 2020 season, yep.
Even when that happens, you're like, I don't care. Could care less. I mean, he had one down year. Hell, it'll be great next year. And it worked out that way. And so I think we get a bad rap for being difficult on coaches. And I don't think that that's the case. We just want a good product put out there. We know how rabid our fan base is for our football. And if we could just get to a level where we could consistently be in the mix, we're not expecting to get to the level of where Georgia is right now or Alabama's been for a while. Would it be nice if we could? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'd all take it, but you're not asking for that. You're just asking for, why not every 3 years have a chance to be in the playoffs and beat Alabama and Georgia, that year. And let's just get and win 10 games in multiple years for a while.
Absolutely.
Feel like you're going into the season where you've got a top 10 ranked team.
And we've got everything else that should and would allow you to do that.
It is very frustrating. And so, yes, I hope there's some post games where we're going, man, Brett, isn't it nice, man? We're getting coached up.
Right.
Hugh Freeze deserves a lot of glory by the way that he's recruited and gotten the staff together and DJ Durkin in here, and we're so great on defense. I've got it all positioned in my mind. Now, whether I'm able to use it is a totally different story.
Yeah, I'm with you. And again, talking about Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine, tonight they have a wine class from 6 to 8. If you want to try to get up to par on your wine tasting, $45. And I promise you'll have more wine than you need.
Do you have a good palate?
I have a great palate.
Yeah.
I have an outstanding palate.
Like you can actually tell a good from a bad wine.
100%. I definitely can do that on a bourbon.
Well, I know
it takes 0 seconds to figure out if one sucks and one's good. So,
yeah, but I got the taste for that.
Yeah, I can taste wine too.
I can kind of, but I'm not one to.
So go check it out. $45. They'll teach you how to figure out which one it is. That's the good thing. August 22nd and 23rd coming up. Ribeye steak sandwiches for $22. I mean, a ribeye steak sandwich for $22. And then they've got the Labor Day specials coming up, August 29th and 30th. Now, I want you to think about the price of things in this country right now. $160 gets you 4 8-ounce fillets and 4 10-ounce New York strips. Just do the math on that. Just going to buy that at a store. And then think about ordering that at a restaurant, okay? You ain't getting out of there for $160 with all that. I'm just telling you. And then the burger box for $60, 6 Conecuh burgers, 6 steak burgers, man, I'm going to tell you, if you have not had the Conecuh burger, I don't really know what to tell you. You just screwing yourself. You just really hung yourself out to dry. It's phenomenal. Like Wade said Friday, he's like, I mean, I had one of those the other day, and he's like, this is the most unbelievable thing I've ever put in my mouth. So go check it out. They got some great deals. Labor Day specials, check those out. I mean, can you go buy that for $60 and do it?
No.
And help cook? I mean, you just can't do it, man. I'm like, it's a no-brainer. So go check out Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. We appreciate them. so very much. Again, thanks for them joining us on the post-game reaction show all throughout the season. We're excited about it. All right, up against another break. Stay tuned. More to come here on Auburn Blitz right after this.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
I'm Joseph Dean with Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation in Dadeville. We're located at 16797 Highway 280, which is on the corner of 280 and 49 North. With an on-site crematory in Opelika and a cemetery in Tallapoosa County, we are a full-service funeral home. To get in touch with us, feel free to come by or call us, 256-750-0381. And for any other questions, you can visit the website at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 for Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
Hi, I'm Abby Guy, Vice President at Riverbank and Trust. They say that most banks offer the same products, but Riverbank offers something most can't: personal connection. We love getting to know our customers by name and making them feel special with every interaction. It's a feeling of warm hospitality you won't find anywhere else. Experience it for yourself.
When you want quality, selection, price, superior financing, and a pain-free buying experience, look no further than Sons Automotive Group of Montgomery and Auburn. Sons of Montgomery offers the best selection of Kias, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Ram trucks. Conveniently located on Eastern Boulevard, Sons Ford of Auburn is the region's Ford volume dealer. And when you shop at any Sons location, they will maximize all incentives and financing options for anyone's credit. Whether Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram in Montgomery, or Ford in Auburn, Sons Automotive treats you like family because they are family driven.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Couple segments left here on the show today. Again, we appreciate all of our partners out there: Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J. Smith Construction and Excavation, and Green for allowing us to do the program each and every day. All right, Coach Freeze had some comments yesterday, press conference. We talked a little bit about some of those on the podcast this morning. We'll talk about some things some different quotes that he had that we didn't talk about on the podcast. And, one thing I posted a video the other day for practice, very good throw from Deuce Knight to Brandon Frazier. Now, a healthy Brandon Frazier, he looks He looks so good right now practicing. We don't hear a lot out of the tight ends. But Brandon Frazier really, really doing good. And then, we've had the addition of Preston Howard coming in from as a transfer and, had him after practice the other day. But this is what Coach Free said about the tight ends. He said, I still think we have a ways to go in some areas, but I think Preston's doing a remarkable job in the pass game. He knows how to work the top end of the routes. He's got really good hands. He said Frazier does too. I think in the run game, we've got to be more physical. Our pad level has to be better, and Tate is helping us with some of that, but also a bit limited when that's the case. It's not like we're going to ask Tate to run a 13-yard dig and win on somebody, and I think people know that. Nothing against Tate, but that's really not his skill set. I do think we've got to continue to improve our physicality there and deciding how do we best manipulate that in play calls. Bottom line is, and we were talking about this at practice the other day, Brandon Frazier, if the optimal thing for a coach is that you want a tight end that can do it all. You can be a Brock Bowers that can block really well, and he can release down the field and beat a linebacker because it's a mismatch. You don't want to have a situation where you got to bring a guy in because he blocks better than he catches, and then flip-flop that and bring the other guy in because he catches better than he blocks. It kind of tips your hand possibly sometimes. And I think that's what Coach Freeze is trying to say. Can we get Preston or Brandon to step up and do both really well? And that's going to be the guy that solidifies the starting position there at tight end.
Boy, you want to talk about a Groundhog Day conversation. It's you and I talking about Auburn tight ends. It feels exactly like every other tight end discussion we've had over the last 15 years. And we've had some really good pieces and some making it onto the NFL and doing pretty well in the NFL, Brett. But
right.
I'll go back to last year. I mean, we went into the season last year thinking the tight end could be one of our top players on the team. And what happened? I still don't know what happened. Like, if you were to give me an explanation on how he went from a couple of years ago, all signs pointing to as long as Fairweather progresses, he's going to be an SEC, all SEC caliber tight end.
Yeah.
To get to what we got last year, I would have never believed it. And but nonetheless, that's where we were. And you go back to Gus Malzahn, every single year, Brett, I feel like you had a tight end talk. Is this the year that we've got the tight end room taken care of? Because I watched the NFL, and that's such a position of need. It's one of the key positions in not only college football, but in the NFL, which you kind of look to see where things are moving. And Auburn just hasn't seemed to be able to consistently get to that level. So why is that? Do you have a feel for why we feel like we have this talk all the time?
No, I don't. I think Auburn's got two good options there. Brandon Frazier.
Well, I think we've always kind of recruited it well.
I think
that's
so.
the frustrating part.
Yeah. Brandon Frazier's been hurt, and that's been the unfortunate thing for him. When he was recruited to Auburn, I mean, the kid's 6'7", man. He's massive. I don't think you can call him a kid anymore. He's been down there so long, and it's hard to call a guy 6'7" a kid at his age. But, then you get Preston Howard in who really gives Auburn an opportunity to have some depth there at that. And Tate Johnson's moved over, and he's lost some weight, and he's kind of trying to fill that position. But like Coach Free said, he ain't going to beat somebody on a dig. That's not his skill set. So, you want to bring him in probably as an extra blocker. But, again, when you see Tate Johnson come out, you may pull a woozy-doozy every once in a while and flip him one out there because nobody expects him to slip out. But most of the time, if he's coming in the game, you're probably thinking, what? Okay, they're going to run the ball. So, again, you try to not tip your hand on personnel. That's part of the chess match. So, Brandon Frazier, he can get down the field. If he can block, and increase that physicality part, I think he's a prototypical tight end, what you're looking for. So we'll kind of see.
I just can't wait. I can't wait that one of our conversations actually turns into something. Because I could probably just take one from a dozen years ago and just roll one name out and change it out with another, and you would have probably said just about the same thing, Brett.
No doubt. I agree. Maybe this is the year. We're just all hoping, right? okay, we didn't really dive into the quarterbacks in the podcast this morning. Talked a little bit about them, here and there, but on Knight's progress on Deuce Knight and what Coach Freeze thinks about him. Here's what he said. He said he's getting better. He said as far as sitting in there, making the throw, he's ready. He can do that. Setting protections is new. That's still kind of an issue that he has to still have some growth. He said our defense is doing a really nice job of disguising things, and all of them are missing some of that. So he said it's even hard for us as coaches when you're watching film to see it. They're doing a really nice job. So I think he's just got to improve in the mental side of it. Physically, he can make all the throws right now. I wouldn't hesitate to throw him in a game. He said we have the base down plan in, but we don't have, hey, now, how are we setting these protections in? So we'll start working that tomorrow, and hopefully all of them will feel better about that aspect of it by midweek next week. That's his take on Deuce Knight.
Well, I just think the ceiling's exceptionally high, and I'm getting that from you. I mean, you're sending messages from practice that, boy, he makes a pretty ball right there. And, and it's a lot of times a different receiver that he's finding, and I've noticed that from some messages coming from you at practice. It's not like he's just keying in on Cam, and Cam's the guy that's making some great play back in the back of the end zone for Deuce. No, he's just got extreme arm talent. You can see that just as one that's watching and not necessarily watching every move that he's making whenever he's just out there throwing in 7-on-7 style setups. He's just got that type of talent. So I don't, the hard part right now, Brett, is you just don't know.
You don't.
How long that, I don't, have you watched any of the Omaha productions? I went down that Eli Manning and the Peyton Manning, the Omaha productions
I didn't
they do
watch
for SEC Network. They got a lot of them. Go and watch. They were.
I'll do that in my spare time.
Well, and I think you would enjoy it. It's very well put together. But one, he was interviewing Steve Spurrier, and he was talking about recruiting Peyton Manning, and he said, we recruited Peyton. He said, but the problem with recruiting Peyton is Danny Werfel was in the same class. He said Peyton decided to go to Tennessee, and Danny decided to go to Florida, and if Peyton would have decided to come here and Danny beat him out, or vice versa, Peyton beat him out, he said, you weren't in an era where you could say, okay, it didn't work out for me in year one. I'm not going to hang in there. I'm going to head on. He said, and he looked at Eli and said, probably worked out pretty good for both of them, didn't it? And Eli said, I think that it worked out really good for both. My point is, like, now, man, you just don't know how long you're going to hold on to anybody like that.
And I think that's the antsiness, Randy, before we go to our last break, that Auburn fans don't want to lose Deuce Knight because they know what he is and what he's going to be. I really, truly think that. Yeah. But in the same breath, they're not trying to push Jackson Arnold out of the way.
No.
They're hoping that he – but, I mean, they're torn. I mean, and I think that's a realistic thing. It's like, hey, Jackson's our quarterback, but, man, can we please not lose this guy over here? We don't want him to go somewhere else.
It's so hard, and
it is.
We're one of many having that same thought.
We are.
Now, we happen to be a program that we've gotten a couple of big-time recruits, but I would say Bo Nix was the best one that we've gotten over the last 10 years, and you saw what we got out of him. And I think Deuce, since Bo is the best quarterback that we've recruited. And so you just don't want to see.
You don't want to see him go somewhere else and not get a shot.
No, and then the next thing you know, you're turning on Oregon, and he's playing for a conference championship, and then he's the starting quarterback at Denver and winning playoff games in year one, and you're like, "What? Hold up, what the hell happened? Like where did this go wrong?" And
this is exactly what people are scared of. That's
and it's understand. But if Jackson Arnold's great, nobody cares.
That's bingo.
That's reality.
That's it. All right, up against the final break. Stay tuned. One final segment right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, licensed general contractor and your trusted choice for land clearing and grading, site work, underground utilities, concrete paving, and material hauling. They also do storm drain installations, fish ponds, and slough dredging. Call Alexander at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. No job is too big or too small for J.A. Smith Construction, the top choice for all of your land service needs.
Buying a home or property can be the biggest investment of your life. The Wisdom Firm is licensed to close any property purchase in the entire state of Alabama. The offices on both Bent Creek Drive in Auburn and Highway 49 South at beautiful Lake Martin. The Wisdom Firm has you covered. Give Travis and his team a call at 334-826-0722 or check them out at www.auburnlegal.com for all your real estate closing needs. No representation is made that the quality of legal services is greater than the quality of legal services made by other attorneys.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
At Central Alabama Community College, we provide a quality education that will set you up for success. Whether you're pursuing a degree or advancing your career with technical training, TAC offers premier programs at 4 campuses in Alexander City, Childersburg, Prattville, and Talladega. From industrial, electronics to machining, our students are prepared for the workforce or further education. At CAC, you'll enjoy vibrant campus life, exciting athletics, and personalized support, all at an affordable price. Your future starts here at CAC. Apply today.
At Majestic Caverns, we believe in the power of unforgettable experiences. At a cool 60 degrees year-round, America's most historic caverns guarantees an enjoyable escape. But it doesn't stop there. With over 20 above-ground attractions, including 5 new ones this year, and our Cave Cafe, which offers delicious drinks and plenty of food options. And don't miss our exciting event, Libertas. On June 29th, July 6th, and July 13th, enjoy live entertainment and much more. At Majestic Caverns, your unforgettable adventure awaits.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment here on the program today. Again, we appreciate all of you out there that join us each and every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have not done so, we'd appreciate it so much. And go hit the like button. That really helps us out tremendously as well. Again, kind of wrapping up what we were talking about. Again, as people are watching this, I'm at practice, and Faith and I will have some kind of video that comes out. I don't know when it'll come out, but we'll push it out on YouTube and Facebook and all of our social media, and we'll kind of give everybody a take on what we see. This is the only media viewing window of the week, so we're looking forward to that. And then, next week's game week. So, this will be our last opportunity to see some practice before they get into game week preparation, which they'll start on Sunday. Coach Freese talked about that the other day. He said Sunday will be like Monday as you prep for a Friday football game. So
makes sense.
It does. So the game week will be a day ahead. And so we'll kind of give everybody some updates on that. But kind of closing out some of his comments, a shorter segment here to end the show. Again, when you look at one that we didn't talk about in the podcast this morning is our linebackers. Faith and I went through and ranked position groups about a month and a half ago, and I think we had the linebackers at the bottom, not because we didn't have talent, just because it was unproven. I mean, obviously the wide receivers and the DBs and even the offensive line were ranked higher than the defensive line. You can go down through there and rank some other places. But linebackers and tight ends were at the bottom. And it was because, you got a guy that's been there a while, but he's starting for the first time in Robert Woodyard. You got a year 2 guy in DeMarcus Riddick that you feel real good about, but he's year 2. And, he's got some things to learn. Then you got some transfers and Caleb Wheatland and some other guys, Xavier Atkins. And You got some freshmen and Bryce Dees and all those guys are performing. Now we're getting to watch them. And then Elijah Melendez, I ain't mentioned him. I mean, these guys are showing out in practice, man, and making plays. And so now it's like I told her the other day, Randy, and I'll say it to you. When we go at the end of the season and do a reevaluation of position groups, I think this one has the potential to move up the rankings further than any of them. I think you're going to see some guys that we haven't seen at linebacker collectively like we've got in these guys right now. Because Bryce Dees, I know he's a freshman, playing well. Xavier Atkins playing well. Elijah Melendez playing well. And Coach Freeze talked about that.
Well, they need for them to. And we saw it last year. So, you have a proven in DeMarcus Riddick that under DJ Durkin, he can get him ready to play the full span of defensive football. That is a thumper at linebacker that can step up and take on the run, but also can get out there. That's the difficult part, Brett. But also I think that's the reason not only do 7-on-7s really help the offensive side of the football, they really help those linebackers and nickel-type guys. Because the secondary, in coverage, man, and in mobility. And you and I saw that with DeMarcus Riddick, and I'll go to him, but we saw that in high school with him. I was never overly impressed with him as just a defensive tackling machine. You could see it. I mean, he looked the part. The thing I always said to you is how great he was back in coverage and how good he was sideline to sideline.
So much that they moved him to safety at Chilton County.
Well, you give him a little bit of room and you let him make plays, and he had the ability to do that. And so, he wasn't on a good high school football team by no stretch of the imagination, but you could see that. You could see that skill set. And I say that with these young guys that are in there now. You heard Coach Freeze mention, some of the young running backs. You heard him mention Deuce at quarterback. There's always these certain things that keep you off the field early. Well, at linebacker, it's been, how well does he play the pass? How does he read what teams are trying to get him to do? Is he stepping up too early? Are they getting man-to-man matchups with him that are really good for the offense? I just feel like our linebackers coming in at a young age are more ready than they were 15 years ago. And
I agree.
Luckily for Auburn, that's a good thing because we've needed young guys to step up in a big way because of how bad our recruiting was before Coach Freeze comes in. So
I think this is
surprised to hear it, Brett. I really expected to hear it. And, the one player that I'll go back to last year that proved to me how good DJ Durkin and his staff can coach him up is Malik Blockton, man.
Malik Blockton, yeah.
You and I saw Malik Blockton in the third round of the playoffs the year before. I'd seen Malik before then. He was a tremendous high school football player, and he kind of ruled the field that night in Elliott City, if you remember. But I did not think he was physically ready for the SEC. Right. I didn't. I thought he was kind of an overgrown, high-intensity, good high school player that needed to put on some bulk and some strength. Like, I just looked down at him and said, man, he's going to take him a year, but a year he's going to be great.
Right.
He was a tremendous football player by the end of last year. And so if we get the same out of these other young guys that we got out of a few of those, including DeMarcus Riddick, it's got the ceiling could be way higher than it was last year, in my opinion.
No doubt. Here's a couple quotes as we head out and finish up here on the show. He said, heck, I don't know the difference between the ones and the twos. As a matter of fact, they switch every day and who goes out there first and who goes out there second. So I don't really notice much difference. Williard has been solid. He's gifted at certain things and maybe not as gifted in other things. He can definitely get us lined up, and he's playing hard at a high level. He said Riddick is back, which adds good depth, athleticism, and he said Melendez and Dees and Atkins and Caleb, those guys have been kind of interchangeable. He said they're all rotating in and out no matter what group runs out there. He said there's not a lot of difference, truthfully. So that's it on linebackers. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they can perform when they get to game time and how that rotation works. All right, that's going to wrap us up here on the Auburn Blitz. Again, we appreciate all of you so much for joining us each and every day. We'll be back with you same time, same place tomorrow. For Randy, I'm Brett saying we've enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.